Hello everyone, this is the second video in my series, The Altered Structure of Animal Cells. Now today we are going to discuss about mitochondria, which is the powerhouse in a cell. So as we can see, this mitochondria is hand-drawn by me. It's not that great, but it just gets the job done. So yeah, just bear with me, alright? So when talking about the diameter in the actual cell, the mitochondria is like 1 micrometers in diameter. So yeah, so when we look at this, we can see that there is a double membranous situation going on. This is the outer membrane, and then there is the inner membrane. And then we can see that this inner membrane is being folded. Now this inner membrane is being folded to form something called cristae. Now why is it being folded to form cristae? Good question. Why is because it actually increases the surface area in which aerobic respiration can occur much more efficiently than if it was not like folded. Anything that is folded, like in your body or wherever, it actually increases the surface area and it therefore increases efficiency. Yes. Now we can see that there is a space between the inner membrane and the outer membrane, and that space is called the intermembranous space. Now right now, if you are just going to talk about the structure of the mitochondria, you don't really need to go that much deep into the intermembranous space, but however, it is an important part of the cell. Actually, every part of the cell is very important because each and every part of the cell has specific jobs to complete. So in the Krebs cycle, you will learn exactly how the intermembranous space is being utilized. So moving on, we can see that this cristae, which is being folded up, it actually extends into this interior cellular solution called the matrix. Now, what is that? What exactly is the matrix? Like, what is the function of the matrix? What is the point of the matrix being there? What is the matrix? The matrix is a solution containing enzymes which helps in aerobic respiration. So yeah, there are enzymes in this matrix which helps in aerobic respiration, and yeah, that's basically it to matrix, but I will be talking a little bit more about that in the latter part of this video, which I will be talking about the role of ATP and the function of mitochondria. So we will be talking more about that in the latter half. Moving on, now we can see there are little black dots, right? Now what are those? Why does this remind me, when I just said what are those, why did it remind me of Wakanda? Like, you know, the sneakers part? Yeah, okay. Anyway, yeah, so you can remember it like that. So these ribosomes aren't actually the same as our ATS ribosomes in our cells. This is actually 70S ribosomes. I'm just gonna quickly just take it here. These are 70S ribosomes. So yeah, so there's a 70S ribosomes, and which are like the sites for protein synthesis. Yes, mitochondria can make their own proteins. Actually, I will be making another video about the endosymbiont theory on mitochondria and chloroplasts, so stay tuned for that. You guys can learn more in that. Okay, so moving on, we can see that there are circular DNA in the mitochondria, in the matrix, basically in the matrix. So they have their own DNA. Now we will get into more on the structural parts of mitochondria. So there is a transport protein in the outer membrane called, it's called porin. So porin is a wide aqueous channel which allows water-soluble molecules to go into the intermembranous space. Let me just quickly write it. It's called porin. It allows water-soluble molecules to get into the intermembranous space. But what you should know is, even though water-soluble molecules are allowed to go in through the outer membrane, sorry about that, I think I haven't switched. Yes, I haven't, yes. Even though it can go from the outer membrane into the to the intermembranous space, the inner membrane of this is far more selective than the outer membrane. It controls and allows, it controls what kind of ions and molecules enter this the matrix. So now we will talk about the function of mitochondria and the role of ATP. Right, so the main function of mitochondria is aerobic respiration. And now where does this aerobic respiration take place? It takes place in right here. It takes place right in the matrix and in the inner membrane cristae. Now, even though the main function of mitochondria is aerobic respiration, there is actually a minor function for mitochondria as well, and that is synthesis of lipids. I'm pretty sure you all didn't know about it. If you knew about it, yes, wow. If you didn't know about it, well, now you know about it. So now we will talk about how respiration is taking place in this. So when respiration is taking place, energy is being released. Let me just quickly write that. When respiration is taking place, energy is being released. Yes, so when respiration is taking place, energy is being released. From where? How do we get this energy to be released? So food sources such as sugars, lipids, all of these release energy. A series of reactions occur and energy is released from these, and that energy is being transferred to ATP molecules. Yes, indeed, it is being transferred to the ATP molecules. Now, as we talked earlier, I said that the matrix contains enzymes which help in the process of aerobic respiration. And yes, they do. So the enzymes in this matrix, they supply hydrogen ions and electrons. Now these electrons actually come from the cristae. Now because there are electron carriers in the cristae which actually provide a flow of electrons which is needed for the generating of ATP molecules. And once the ATP is being made, it actually leaves the mitochondria. It leaves the mitochondria because it is small and it is soluble. Right, so it can move out of the mitochondria and go out to like any part of the cell where energy is required. Now when ATP actually goes out of the mitochondria, this is what happens. Yes, now what happens when the ATP leaves the mitochondria is that it actually turns into ADP. ATP turns into ADP through a hydrolysis reaction. And ADP can be recycled again to form ATP. Again, all of this is pretty much explained in the Krebs cycle, and you guys will be able to see that video soon enough. So after the ATP has gone into the specific part of the cell where energy is required, ATP is broken down into ADP to provide energy through a hydrolysis reaction. And this ATP can be recycled again to form ATP. Now this is explained in the Krebs cycle. So you needn't worry. That is pretty much it for the mitochondria, and I will be meeting you guys again on Thursday. And yes, another thing is that I will be providing you guys with notes and flashcards. All you have to do is just drop me an email. In the email address is in my description box down below. You just have to send me an email and I will send you my notes and the flashcards, and you can just go through my notes first and understand the concept, and then you can go to the flashcards when you're actively recalling and stuff. So I hope this video really helps you guys.